How do we heal our inner child? Let's talk about it. Hey, welcome to Studio Raphael. Today we're presenting a new episode of Let's Talk About It with your host, Aidan Brookstone. Welcome to Studio Raphael. Now, I feel like the best way for me to approach this situation is for me to talk about my own experiences with healing my inner child. Now, in some ways, I would say I'm fairly lucky in that I very much held on to my inner child throughout my life. I got shut down at times. I got told no. Not going to get into specifics here because I don't need to in that sense, but I grew up and my inner child felt suppressed. My inner self felt suppressed, and I was told for a very long time that being me was not right. Being me was not good, and I should not express myself. I should not be curious. I should not create as I desire to, because the world wants something else from me, and so I need to conform to that. That was a long time, and that was a very hard time of my existence, and it took me a long time to get to a point where I wouldn't really say that it became easier to hear those voices and shut them out, but at the very least I started to realize that I had an inner purpose and I had a desire that the world could not fulfill. I had an inner connection to a child that wanted to create and to build something beautiful in a practical, grounded, balanced manner. It's not just about being a child throughout your whole life. It's about learning how to grow into an adult and how to be a father and a friend and all of these things. But if we don't have a basic foundation of a healthy child, then we're creating all these relationships and connections through a basis of trauma. And that turns into patterns and cycles that repeat throughout our lifetimes, that we then pass on through generation to generation. And we say, well, why do things keep happening the way they do? Well, because we haven't actually gone to the root of our problem and taken the time to heal the inner child. Healing the inner child is such a deep process. Healing the inner child in some ways has to do with simply loving ourselves, simply accepting ourselves, but it also has to do with being willing and being okay with expressing that, and being willing to step out of your comfort zone and to do it. Just being okay with expressing it is great, but if you don't actually go out there and express it, you're still suppressing that which you desire to express. So in some ways, healing the inner child is all about allowing yourself to be. Healing the inner child is looking at any sort of trauma, any sort of pain that says, no, I can't do that. No, I can't be that. No, my parents, my friends, anybody, my teacher, whoever, somebody said to you that you can't do that because society won't like it, and then a part of your inner self, a part of your inner child got shut down. Looking back, going through all of those, going through pages and catalogs of whatever has happened, going through them each individually, experiencing them again if you have to, looking at them and loving that self, loving that child, and saying it's not your fault. Reminding yourself that it really isn't your fault. That you have this connection to an intuition. You have this connection to what you desire to create in life that comes from a very pure and honest space. But the world hasn't wanted that for a very long time. That's changing. Now the world wants to see you express yourself. Now the world is tired of feeling exhausted, of feeling suppressed, and of feeling oppressed. The world wants to come out and say, hey, this is me, and this is what I truly want. I want love. I want peace. I want friends. I want family. I want to feel accepted for being who I am, and I don't want to feel like too much, because you're not too much. You are you. You are you, and that's that. Nobody needs to make justifications for who they are. Nobody needs to make excuses. Nobody needs or should feel like we have to justify our own existence. We all have the right to exist just merely by the fact that we do exist. Nobody can tell you you don't have the right to exist, because they were created, in my opinion, by the same creator as you. We're all coming from the same source and the same creation, so if we're all in that sense one, and we all come from one, then why is anybody higher or lower than another? That's a very tough space to approach. That's a very tough idea to get into. We, as people, are all sharing this experience. We as people all just want to be seen for who we are, loved and appreciated and respected for who we are. We all just have this basic foundation of wanting to be loved and seen and appreciated. And I can repeat it and I can repeat it and I can repeat it. And if it's nothing at this point other than a reminder, then I hope that it acts as that reminder that says, you are allowed to be you. We want you to be you. Here in Studio Raphael, I want you to be you. And if you feel like in the rest of the world you can't be yourself, but you can come here and you have a little slice of life, little slice of this world where you can simply be you and you can be appreciated for that, where you don't get turned down, where you don't get told no, where you don't get told you're not accepted, but you simply get brought in like a member of this loving family, then that is the foundation of healing the inner child. Is having a space where the child can be seen, is having a space where the inner child can be recognized for simply being who they are and nothing else. Being seen for your joys, being seen for your passions, being seen for what makes you excited in this life. That's all our child wants. All our inner child wants is to do what we love, is to experience what we truly love, and to not be told by a world what is good or bad or right or wrong, but simply to be in our divine flow, to trust our intuition, and to live in that space of pure innocence. Healing the inner child is a deep, long, potentially, and quite probably painful of a process. But it is so well worth it. For you, for everyone around you, for the benefits that come from simply being yourself, and the feeling that you don't have to be anybody else, that you can just be you. And that is more than enough. So, we heal the inner child by loving the inner child. We heal the inner child by acknowledging the inner child. We heal the inner child by listening to it, by hearing what its desires are, hearing what its needs are, and not suppressing them, but acknowledging them and bringing them to the light. So, my name's Aiden. This was us talking about how do we heal our inner child. Next week, we're going to get more into exercises, we're going to get more into activities, and we're going to get more into things that we can actually do to heal our inner child. And I look forward to getting into that side of the week as well. This has been such an interesting exploration for me. I didn't really know how this week was going to go, but I think this went a lot better than I was expecting. And for me as well, it's just a sense of curiosity. It's a sense of sitting down here and just saying, all right, let's see what happens. And for better or for worse, maybe I know I have a tendency to ramble at times, but I'm working on it. Practice makes perfect. And for me, it's about looking at the inner child in myself who's discovering, who's exploring, and not demanding perfection, but saying it's okay, you're learning, keep trying. So, my name's Aiden, this is Studio Raphael. Welcome. You are more than welcome here. I am super excited to have you. I look forward to diving deep into what's next, and I hope that this helps you with a basic foundation for what is inner child work, inner healing work and all that, and hopefully we can help to create the foundation for a more peaceful and loving world in the future. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. And hopefully I'll see you around the studio sometime. Take care.